This is Banging on the Drum. It is another beautiful day in West Central Wisconsin, and welcome to episode 131 of Bang on the Drum. I am your host, P-Dog, joined alongside our co-host, M-Dog, and our very special guest today, the headstand champion, K9, Kyle, and our Bucks expert. How you doing today, Kyle?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing great.
Mike's always doing great. So we have brought Kyle on today to do our Bucks preview, even though the Bucks are 5-4, about to be 6-4. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Hopefully
Kyle.
6-4. They were. It was just the Bulls were up by 1 a little bit ago, but now the Bucks are back on top by like 9.
So. Yeah, seen Giannis hit like a fadeaway 3.
Yeah. So hopefully 6-4. But
6-4 by the end of this one. So we will keep you updated on the tracker, maybe. Probably not. But we are going to get into this right away. I was thinking about doing a Bucks draft, but scratch it. We'll do that some other time. Mike's disappointed. He had his team all ready to rock.
Yeah, but I feel like I was going to get the top 5 guys, and that's probably not accurate, right? I think after the top 10, you kind of fall out pretty hard on the Bucks.
Roster.
Right. Yeah, because we were going over it. It's like first pick's going to be Giannis, second pick's going to be Kareem, third.
You think Giannis goes over Kareem? Interesting.
I mean, I think there's like right now, same.
Is it best player or best Buck? Or like
best that's good.
I think if we did it,
we're not even doing.
I think if we did it, there would have to be their time on the Bucks. Like if you drafted Gary Payton, it wouldn't be like Sonic's Gary Payton. It would
that makes sense then. Yeah.
Be the Bucks Gary Payton. Should we do the top 3? Just a top 3-on-3 team, best 3-on-3 team. Let's do this. Kyle, sure. You are leading off. Who are you taking?
I'll take Giannis first as a Buck. I mean, yeah, obviously Kareem's great, but I don't know. I'm a Giannis homer.
Yeah, I mean, it helps that we get to see him play and everything like that. I've been watching Winning Time. Have you seen that shit on HBO? Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard good things.
Oh, it's great. But that makes me like Kareem way more. He's sweet in that show. All right, Mike, second pick. Who you got?
So he took Giannis, then you got to take Kareem.
All right. You guys are going to get shot off the floor because I'm going with Ray Allen right off the bat. And then I am going to go. I think Oscar Robinson would be the obvious pick, but I do not know enough about Oscar Robinson. So I'm going to go Michael Redd. We're just going to be hitting threes all day.
3. Your team is going to be like 3 and no D though.
Oh, you wait till number 3 comes around.
Oh, I know it is.
So I think next I would have to go with Robertson. Right, you got to go with Oscar Robertson.
Yeah, so you're kind of going to have that old team.
Yeah, my whole team is going to be just the 71 Bucks.
Yeah, not a bad team to have. Kyle, on you. Your last 2.
All right, 2 though, huh? Okay, I need shooting. I need someone to get Giannis the ball. Gary Payton on the Bucks is not the right guy. Whew, God. I would probably go, and I only going off reputation, like not what I know about the Bucks, but like I'd probably go like Sidney Moncrief.
Yeah,
throw him in there.
The era before. I guess a couple eras before that we watched. All right,
he was what mid 70s, 80s. I think late 70s, mid 80s, right?
Yeah, right. So I'm basing this on fucking nothing, but
no, I remember because
statistics
in the Last Dance, Michael Jordan was like Sidney Moncrief was kind of the guy in the division at the time that he had to knock off the block. So he was Michael Jordan before Michael Jordan, basically. So we're good. That was a good pick.
All right. Who else though? I hate my team already, to be honest.
You have the best team so far.
Yeah, I know, but I'm trying to think who can get them the ball.
I have the perfect point guard for you, but I want to go 5 now. I want to go 5. I got my team in my head.
I still get 2 though, right?
Yep.
I would just go Chris Middleton. He's sneaky underrated. Good shooter.
I like that pick. Mike, who you going?
So I'm going with probably easily my favorite point guard on the Bucks of all time, Sam Cassell.
Yeah, that's what I thought Kyle could go with to facilitate the ball. So if we were going 3, I think we're going deep now. Yeah, we're going 5 Jesus. Now. Sorry, guys.
Okay. Yeah,
so I'm going to go Glenn Robinson.
Yep.
And then one of you guys is going to take him just because I love him so much. But I'm going to get my defense in here, and I'm going to go with Larry Sanders. Defensive Player of the Year for the Bucks at one point in time. So that's it. Well, I mean, now it's Mike. You got 1.
I think I got 2 point guards, which is not ideal. And then
I mean, I don't have a point guard, I guess. I'm going to make Michael Redd or Ray Allen play point guard.
Right.
You can have that work, I feel like.
Yeah, or Glenn Robinson.
Good enough.
Well, but I need one more big dude. You need.
So, Kyle can have Giannis play point guard. That's what Jason Kidd did.
There we go. I don't know if he's point guard or shooting guard, but
yeah, I know that the Kidd wanted the guys that were 7-footers to be their point guard. They had what was it, Kidd Gilchrist too?
Who's that? Carter Williams. Wait, no, sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once.
It was some guy that had a really good rookie year and then was kind of out of it.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I think you should go with not Greg Jennings. God, no,
What's Jennings? Brandon Jennings.
Yeah, that's your pick. Yeah, get all the point guards.
Yeah, I mean, that guy's he could be the 2 guard for sure. Robertson was probably like 6'6", be my guess. I'll do it.
Right.
I'll go with Brandon Jennings. More points on the board.
I like it. All right, Kyle, where are you going? Having to do this on the fly.
Again, based on just history, but also good bona fides as the announcer. I go Marcus Johnson.
Yeah,
I think Kyle will have the most serious team. All right, last pick, Kyle.
So let's see. I got Giannis. I got some guards. I got Chris. So, did you take Larry Sanders yet?
I did. Thank God, because I knew that was gonna be a stolen pick.
It's kind of boring. I want to pick like Brooke Lopez. That's I'm trying to think.
I think Lopez is a good pick in this draft.
I'm trying to try to find a more fun pick, but I don't have a good one. Like no as good as Larry Sanders.
Best pick in the draft right there.
I'll go with one that I liked a lot when he was here, and he got a bad rap. I'm gonna go with Greg Monroe. I remember being super excited we got him like 8 years ago or whenever that was, because like a free agent finally came to the Bucks. Loved his game, shoot the ball. I'm going Greg Monroe.
I enjoyed Greg Monroe quite a bit. I got another favorite in here that I got to see if he's going to fit my team, but I think so.
I mean, otherwise I was going to go like I loved Zaza when he was here.
Pachulia is a boy.
Andrew Bogut.
You're getting close with who I'm going to pick, but
yeah, I feel like you're like the late or like 2007 to 2012-ish range. You're going for someone. I feel like.
I think that's it. Unless Mike gets him from me, but Mike, I think you should go with Tim Thomas. Tim
so
Thomas was that boy.
Yep, he was a guy that everybody was really excited about with the Bucks for a while there, right? I mean, late '90s Bucks. So Tim Thomas is on my board. I think Ersan Ilyasova is on my board. Somewhere in there.
That's a good one.
And then just maybe the most fun pick you could have is on my board is Desmond Mason.
Oh, the cowboy.
Right? Yeah. I think Pat is looking for Ersan Ilyasova, so I'm going to leave him there and I'm going to take Desmond Mason.
Dang, Mike, that was good intuition on your hand, because that was definitely who I wanted, was Ersan. But once you said Desmond Mason, I feel guilty for leaving him off. Darvin Ham was my boy for a while too. I love that guy on the Bucks. All right, that's our draft. So let's go. K9 Kyle's got Giannis, Sidney Moncrief, Chris Middleton, Marquise Johnson, and Greg Monroe. And Mike has Kareem, Oscar Robinson, Sam Cassell, Brandon Jennings, Desmond Mason. Your team's just getting pumped, Mike. We're
a little small. We're a little small. Yeah.
My team's kind of small too. I think Kyle's team just whoops our team's ass just off pure size. But I got Ray Allen, Michael Redd, Glenn Robinson, Larry Sanders, Ersan Ilyasova.
Nobody took John Lure. It's a little disappointing.
Yeah, he was a Bucks stud. But let's get into the interview, Kyle. We're going to put the screws to you right away. So right off the bat, do you think Craig Counsell is a sellout?
No, I think he's smart. Full disclosure that I'm a Cubs fan, the rare Cubs Bucks fan. But no, I can totally see why you guys are bitter and why you guys think he's a punk and all that. But I'm very happy. I think it makes me more happy that you guys are so sad and mad about it too, which probably pisses you guys off even more.
No, that's fair. I think I know I couldn't do it. I wouldn't be sad. Like if
you were just telling me that that's the mark of a good friendship, is that when somebody else is in misery, you find it amusing.
Yeah,
right?
No,
not serious misery, but misery.
I am
proud
of Kyle for being happy about it, but I would not take Ross. I would tell him to go pound sand, you piece of shit, you Cubs bastard. But no, you guys embrace.
What if, Mark Grace was the best manager in baseball? That feels like the biggest from my era.
Decent comp. I mean, I think Mark Grace is better than Craig Counsell was, but I think that's pretty fair, semi good comparison.
Mark Grace is going to be a Brewers, leaves the Cubs to come to Brewers.
It's hard to say, but I just don't I don't see it making me that mad. I think there's more of a connection, just Craig Counsell being from here and growing up as a fan. They kept showing that picture of him with the Brewers players from the 80s or 70s or whatever that was. Just I kind of don't get his thing in his press conference today. He was saying I was kind of surprised at how upset some people are. I just thought people could see it for what it is. And it's I don't know, man. You're not that. Don't be dumb. You knew people were going to be pissed off about it. You took the money. You did what's best for you. Good for you. But yeah, so I totally get where you guys come from. I assume. Yeah,
and I'll get over it. But I think it's just a Cubs thing. Such a close hop. People who do that are scumbags, because we got examples. Darren Sharper, Packers, Vikings, scumbag.
Definite scumbag.
I mean, okay,
Brett Favre, Packers to the Vikings, scumbag. So Craig Counsell, we'll see what he's doing, because that was dirty. We'll find out. But anyways, let's get into the Bucks questions. But first one that I want to do that's not a Bucks question is just because I think I get it, but maybe some of our listeners don't fully get it yet. And I didn't know where to put this into the interview, so I'm just going to put it right off the top. what have you thought of the in-season tournament so far? And kind of explain it, because my understanding is a round robin tournament. Winner plus a wild card goes to a tournament.
Six groups. The 6 group winners automatically make the 8-team tournament, and then the 2 wild cards have the best record plus tiebreakers after that from those groups. Single elimination tournament, 8 teams, that takes place in Vegas. I don't know if the whole tournament does or just the final 4. Maybe the whole tournament. But anyway, played on every day. There's games on Tuesday and Friday in November. Those count as tournament games. Play the 4 teams in your group, 2 at home, 2 away. And yeah. So what do I think of it so far? I think it's interesting. It's one of these things where it's hard to know how much stock to put into it, because it's if you win, you're not going to be like, oh, that's just as good as winning the NBA championship. But I still think it'd be cool. I'd still be happy if the Bucks won, for example. And I think it's made the games more interesting than they otherwise would be in November. So I like the idea. I think they could refine it and make it a little better. But for the first time trying it so far, I'm kind of interested. If that makes sense.
Yeah, and so my confusion in it is, so all the games that are round robin, they count for your
every single game in this entire tournament counts except for the championship game. So if you go to the championship game, that's an 83rd game that you played, but that doesn't count towards the season.
See, that doesn't make any sense to me. It's so is the schedule
every team in December, that first week in December, has no games, or it's the 5th through the 12th or something like that. So there's no games scheduled that week. If you make the tournament, you play in the tournament, those 2 games count. If you miss the tournament, you play whatever other teams didn't make the tournament.
Do they figure out cancel those games?
No, so they basically just fill it in with someone who's a comparable opponent, I guess. I don't know exactly how they're going to schedule it, but okay. That entire week is blank. If you go to any team schedule, that week is blank right now on their schedule. So if we miss the tournament, we might just play the Bulls and the Nets or something. We'll just play 2 random teams that didn't make the tournament.
So that can kind of screw you a little bit. But whatever, not that bad. I mean, if you make the tournament, you obviously are more than likely playing a better team, I would say. And then if you lose right away, that's just a loss.
Probably. I guess my understanding was everything counts besides the championship, and they're filling in the games. But now I say it out loud, that kind of makes sense, right? If you actually they have to play the Warriors and the Celtics, that's worse for your strength of schedule, or you have a harder schedule that way too. So I don't know how. It's a good point. I'm not sure how they fill it in, but I thought that's how they were doing it. If I'm wrong, I'm just like a fucking idiot. But
yeah, no, I have no clue. But whatever, we'll figure it out when it comes. Yeah, the only thing. So I love the idea of the FA Cup in English soccer, but I just don't know where you would get teams to step in that just wouldn't get waxed by an NBA club. And I assume in the FA Cup, there's teams that are just getting absolutely smoked, having a G League team come up.
That's a huge part of the early rounds, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I think in basketball you have to probably go to Europe teams and throw them in, but even then, I would assume an NBA team, absent a hot shooting night, they should take care of business and be way bigger. And
could you go to a national team, right? I guess really good, like Spain's national team, whoever's going to be playing on that. Back in the day would have been Gasol, right? They would have been on that team.
But they would be on an NBA team.
On the NBA team that they're on. One or the other. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that the really good foreign players are all in the NBA too.
Yeah, whatever. We'll get off it though. Let's get into the Bucks stuff. So, let's just start out. So, act like I haven't seen the 2 Bucks games I have seen this year. So, what is new with this team this year, going into the season?
Yeah. So, biggest thing, obviously, the trade for Damian Lillard. So out goes Holiday, in comes Damian Lillard. I don't know why I stopped. Oh, and out goes Grayson Allen, I guess too. So, rotation player that we had, but so Damian Lillard comes on board. So huge shift. You get a superstar, top 75 player all time. Changes the dynamics of the offense. Basically, the Bucks, as we know, even the championship year, but the other years that they failed in the playoffs, the issue's been that the offense stalls out, especially in the last 5 minutes of the game. Definitely saw that a lot last year against the Heat, 2 or 3 of the games in that series, which were frustrating. So I think the idea is you give up Holiday's defense and live with a worse defense in the hopes that your offense is much better, especially in clutch time. So that's the biggest change. We've got Andre Jackson, and I can't remember his name right now. Chris Livingston, I think. So new draft picks, but Jackson's getting some playing time right now. Jay Crowder is hurt. Actually came out just before the game today that he's out for the next 8 weeks, which below to our depth. But Jackson's a wing who can presumably hopefully play some good defense and make an open shot. So that's the biggest changes. We got Brook Lopez back. We got Chris Middleton back, both re-signing as free agents. Some other changes on the periphery. That's pretty much the big changes.
Covers them all. Did you go over, because just while we're going with changes, the Adrian Griffin.
Oh, yeah, of course. So yeah, I was talking about players. Griffin's one of the bigger changes too. First year head coach, longtime assistant for the Raptors and some other teams. I think he's been an assistant for 17 or 18 years. Maybe it's been that long, but it's definitely a decent amount of time. Getting his first shot as a head coach. So that's kind of interesting to take hopefully a championship caliber team, but put him in the hands of someone who hasn't coached at this level before or led the team. So that's interesting. We also had Terry Stotts as his lead assistant who quit before the season. He was an established coach, former Bucks coach, Damian Lillard's former coach for 7 years. They got an argument in the preseason and he just left for whatever reason. I don't know if more is coming out about that, but so that's not great. But I think the thought is the team should be good enough and talented enough you can kind of figure it out. So far, been pretty spotty, I would say, in results in terms of coaching, but it's hard to say whether it's just early season kinks or that he's just out of his depth. So
was he an assistant when Toronto ended up winning it with Kawhi Leonard?
I think so. Because he was definitely with Nick Nurse for a while. I don't know if he was on the very first staff. So that might have been Nick Nurse's first year there, but if not, he was with the team that had some carryover from that for sure.
Yeah, because I mean that's like kind of a sign of a good coach. Because that Toronto team, I feel like, was kind of not the most talented team. Like obviously Kawhi did a lot of the work there, but if you got to pull strings and figure shit out like that, maybe he's the next Jack McKinney coming from Portland to lead the Lakers to their first championship in the '80s. It's my winning time reference right there.
Yeah, right.
But it worked there, so maybe it'll work in Milwaukee as well. So with Drew Holiday gone, like you said, we're sacrificing some defense. As you've seen so far, I mean, obviously the Bucks are hopefully going to be 6-4 when this thing comes out, but currently are 5-4. Do you think this team, as it stands right now, is better than last year? Because I was listening to a little bit of Bill Simmons, and he was kind of making me feel like shit about getting rid of Drew Holiday.
Yeah. So first off, he's a huge Celtics homer and super excited that they had him.
That's true. Yeah.
Everyone underrated Drew for the 3 years we had him, and now that he's on the Celtics, he's like God's gift to basketball, and it's like he never had any problems on offense. Fantastic defender, but he clearly had limitations on offense. But no, I've listened to Simmons recently. I've been purposely avoiding him because he's just like completely. I thought he's already written off the Bucks team, and he said the Celtics had like the best starting lineup of this century, and it's just like that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Ignoring the Warriors, Heat, Cavs, I think just ridiculous. So anyway, but
no, that's good perspective because I don't listen to him that much, so I was just listening to one that was like a rundown.
I like his basketball podcast with Russillo a lot, but
like to say the best one this century. I mean, if you're looking at the Warriors starting lineup the year they had KD, it's just ridiculous, right?
That's
just insane.
The team hasn't proven anything. Like Kristaps could get hurt. Drew Holiday like is good, but he's like I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to turn this into a Celtics podcast because God knows there's enough of those in the world. But so are we better? So it's hard to say. Right now, it doesn't feel great, but we also haven't seen Giannis and Dame like work as well as we think they would. Dame's missed the last 2 games. He's playing tonight, and he wasn't shooting too well tonight at last I looked, but we're up by 12 right now, so we should be in good shape. But where we have seen Dame pay off so far is in clutch moments, end of games. The very first game against the Sixers, he was fantastic and scored some like 37 points or something his first game. He makes all of his free throws. He is a defensive liability, but I think he isn't as bad as people think he is. Or like he always tries hard and I think he's being motivated to prove something for this team. So I'm really optimistic about that. And I think they need to just run more pick and rolls, and like they've kind of been half-assing it. Like Giannis doesn't set screens as hard as he should, and I think they're going to figure some of that stuff out. Similarly, Chris Middleton's on a minutes restriction still, coming off injuries he had last year. And again, surgery in the offseason to clean up his knee or whatever was bothering him. But I think when he is playing more minutes too, the offense looks a lot better. So I'm pretty sure they're going to figure out an offense and be pretty unstoppable on that end. So just a matter of can their defense hold up well enough to not bleed all these points. And that's where the problem's been so far this year is they're not getting back in transition. They're playing these weird schemes where they're really aggressive with like chasing steals and blocks, but at the expense of not getting back on defense. So like our transition defense is awful right now. So I don't know. There's some things that have been really frustrating, but we lost in the first round last year. Maybe it's an overreaction to completely change the team, but I'm glad they did something, and I don't think I can fault them for getting a guy like Damian Lillard. And we had a whole season to figure out the defense, so let's do it. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, no, I mean it's going to take guys like that a little while to figure things out, you would think. But yeah, there is just some like weird stuff, and don't get me wrong, I didn't go back in time because I'm too lazy to do that shit. But like just looking at some of the stats, like the Bucks look like they're just getting crushed on the boards. Like I said, I caught the first game you mentioned versus Sixers, was it?
Yeah.
And then I caught the Knicks game. Both games, Dame came up late, clutch, like when it was looking like the Bucks turning into the Wisconsin Badgers, not being able to get a bucket at the end of the game. And then he drains a couple. But seeing the rebounding numbers, because like they got killed by the Knicks on the boards, and then just looking at the league thing, and I don't know exactly how this plays out, but they're 29th in rebounding out of the 30 teams in the league.
Yeah. So I don't know how high they were the last 2 or 3 years, but they were in the top 5, I would say. So our rebounding's not been good, which plays a lot in the defense and transition opportunities, both on defense and offense. So that just hasn't been good. And that, I think that's kind of schematic related. I'm not 100% sure on the root cause because like you still have Giannis and Brook who are good rebounders. And I don't know exactly what the story is there, but you'd think that will improve some. But yeah, that's definitely been part of the problem is rebounding.
Yeah. And the only reason I was looking is because I knew we were going to bring you on there, and I just kind of wanted to see some of the stats that like could be like hurting us or helping us. But it is weird with how low the Bucks are in a lot of like categories that I guess I would like to look at, like rebounds, assists, things like that. It doesn't seem like they're that finely tuned yet. But
yeah, I go back to your point too, where we've been getting, when we've been losing, we've been blown out too. Like we had a really bad game against the Raptors. We play them, I think, later this week, so it'll be interesting to see if we improve there. The Raptors are a young team. They're not a very good offense, and they scored like 130 points on us or something. We lost the Magic over the weekend, got blown out by them too, or kept it close in the first half, but then we're down by 20. And like that just doesn't happen to the Bucks a lot, or hasn't the last 5 years. I think the thing with under Coach Bud's system and the old team is they were just so damn consistent and could, you'd expect them to be in most games and stick to their fundamentals. And it killed them in the playoffs when they couldn't score in the clutch and they couldn't like alter their plans whenever they had any kind of issues or like adversity, I'd say. So, and that's ultimately why Bud lost his job, right? So, but he also came with a high floor where like that team wasn't gonna, they were gonna win 50 games a year no matter what. And like now it's kind of interesting to see, do we kind of give up some of that regular season stuff to hopefully have it figured out by the playoffs? And
yeah, and no, I mean that is a good point, like because we definitely did need like a more dynamic offense, I guess, for lack of a better term, like because it did seem like we're getting easy buckets through Giannis all year long in the regular season, just riding Giannis, and then once it comes to the playoffs and teams are like, well, we're just not gonna let Giannis do that anymore. Like we just didn't know what to do at that point. So yeah, that's a good point. So I mean that could very well be why we're struggling in that. Just because I'm too dumb to check off questions that you probably already answered, I'm gonna ask them anyways, and then you can answer them with the same thing. But this is the one. So who or what has been the biggest surprise this year so far for you? Like I said, who or what? It could be a player, it could be.
So yeah, I'd probably be one good, one bad. So I'd say on the bad side of things, how bad the transition defense has been, like just being in the bottom half of the league, or not bottom half, bottom like 5 of the league, depending on whatever night you're looking at it. Like this team was very good defensively for the last 5 years, and just seeing them kind of fall off a cliff has been frustrating. But they're also trying some new things, and to his credit, Coach Griffin, he has this new style he wants to play, and they were getting beat up the first like 4 or 5 games and like getting beat out, and like they weren't adapting at all. And then they made the decision to put Brook back in the drop where he kind of guards the rim closely. And the issue that is people can score over him like with floaters and mid-range shots, but he had like 8 blocks that game. I think it was against the Knicks. So like it was good that the coach kind of changed his scheme and realized that it wasn't working. I don't know how much he's going to keep doing those things. Hopefully, you'd think if it's not working, he's going to. But yeah, I think it's a combination of personnel and the scheme that's not great. And we can maybe make some changes on the periphery or make some mid-season trade for a better wing defender or something like that. But that needs to get better. So I think that's been surprising. But yeah, otherwise, other surprises, good surprise, I'd say. Before he got hurt, Jay Crowder was playing pretty well. He was kind of a nothing for the Bucks last year. The playoffs, he barely played in that Heat series and looked kind of lost out there. And he was shooting well. He was shooting over 50% from 3. He was playing good defense, kind of helping coach up some people. So him being out really sucks for the next 8 weeks, but it also gives us the chance to see we have a couple young guys, Marjan and Andre Jackson, see if they can learn how to defend and make open shots, because those guys aren't going to be aren't going to need to carry the offense. We have Giannis and Dame and Chris, so if they can just be good defenders and like hit an open bucket, that's all we really need. So I think that gives us an opportunity. So that I'm hoping one of them is a good surprise of like someone who steps up.
Yeah, and I'm gonna jump back to your first one thing, just to tie it into like a Wisconsin sports thing. But like how you said, Griffin was willing to listen to the players at a certain point where it's like, hey, sure, we understand your scheme, but like this is what we got right now. Like if we want to win now, we're gonna have to do this. Like I feel like I don't know why I'm kicking back the Badgers, but like the Badgers with Fickle coming in and trying to change everything way too fast, I don't think that that's necessarily going to work all the time. Like sometimes you just got to win with the horses you got. And if he's willing to do that and then implement his scheme a little bit slower, maybe we'll be onto something. But hopefully it's not just like, well, this is working, and then we run into the same issues where we have an offense that works in the regular season that doesn't work in playoffs. But
yeah, I think that comparison to Fickle's pretty good. Like, and Fickle has more proven pedigree, obviously, like having done it at Cincinnati. But you can probably argue that's not necessarily the same caliber as the Big Ten. So maybe similar to Griffin being not a head coach and being on good teams before. So it's pretty.
You have more time as well, right?
Yeah, exactly.
With basketball, you just have more game time.
Yeah, and everyone's kind of. I mean, I'm irritated night in night out. I was watching the game earlier, and it was frustrating me. They're way better than the Bulls. We should blow them out up by 8 with a minute left. And it's been frustrating me, but at the same time, to remind myself, it's what 10, 12 games in. Like, let's get to Christmas. Let's get to when football's over and basketball actually starts mattering. All the games matter, positioning matters, but like a lot of teams have started bad before and ended up winning the whole thing. So like, and we're not. I would say we're bad. I would say we're just not as good as we should be.
So we just got to get there, keep working on it. So you just knocked off like 4 of my questions. So I am going to be smart enough not to ask those ones, but let's just roll through it. We're trying to be a little bit quicker these days. So let's go through the big categories and just give kind of a grading scale breakdown. We did this with Matt Chad when he was on with the Brewers, but I'm going to say a category and you're going to tell me whatever, normal grading scale, A through F type deal. Then final grade, and then we'll just do expectations for the season. And I think we'll wrap. But right now, we'll start with the rebounding. What are you giving us A through F in the rebounding department?
I'd have to give him, if not enough, a D minus. Like it's just not good enough, not cutting it. Should be better.
B minus. Shooting. What are we doing shooting wise this year?
Uh, I'd say maybe like a C. I think they've been fine. 3-point shooting could be better for some players. Some players were shooting pretty decent though. Giannis needs to quit shooting so damn much from outside, but
Go with the C there. Yeah, and just because I have the stats pulled up here, so we're shooting 47.9 from the field, probably not including today's game, actually, most definitely, and then 36 from three, which we're ninth in the league from the field, and then 14th in the league. So C, that seems to fit pretty well. But then just putting that all together, offense wise, where's our offense in this one?
I mean, yeah, I would maybe go C plus, B minus. And part of that's just based on potential. It should be an A plus offense. Like there's no reason it shouldn't be. But I would say that slightly higher than average marks due to the clutch scoring has been much better and appreciated. So
yeah, Dame in the 2 games I've got to see on TV has definitely impressed me at the end of the games there. Defense wise, where are we sitting there? I guess there's probably a couple things that go into defense, but I'm just going to put defense as one.
Yeah, I think it has to be an F so far, and it's relative, right? Like it's not like I don't think we're the worst defense in the league or anything, but it's where we could be / should be. Like we should be better. It has not been good so far. I think they have an opportunity, but I don't know. It's just so damn frustrating.
Yeah, rough. I guess the only one I could look for that would give me something is points against, but I can't find that right now. So
yeah, I don't know exactly which like league wide. I feel like they're like 25th or lower. Like it's not good. And I think when you have Giannis and Brook were both like defensive player of the year quality players. Like obviously the team's more than just 2 players, but like they have to be middle of the pack. Like they can't be that bad.
Yeah, and I think that's like one of the reasons why you're so willing to part with Holiday is like you're like, well, help defense wise, we're going to be just fine. We got Giannis tracking people down to block him and then letting people just roll into Brook to just watch him swat them away. But yeah, and last but not least, we're gonna go with transition, which you kind of already touched, but we could turn this into offense, defense, like transition offense. What do we got?
It still hasn't been as good as you'd think they would be. I'll still go middle of the packs like C. But I don't know. If anything, if I had to give us a grade for anything, we're doing well on offense. You know, clutch scoring, free throw shooting. Giannis is still kind of iffy on that, but I would give those a higher mark. But I don't know. It's too early. Like I don't know if my grade should reflect where I think they're going to be, but
yeah, no, dude, you have given some dog shit grades out. Like I don't think this team would have passed high school if they were giving your grade.
They're going to figure it out. Like, I don't think we're like a scrub team. We're not going to make the playoffs. We should stack wins against bad teams. There's no reason we shouldn't be top 3 in the conference. Like it looked like it was just going to be us and the Celtics. The Sixers look pretty good so far too. So, I mean, to be fair, like winning against the Sixers, that's their only loss so far. I think is us. So like, definitely been some good, and you can see what we should be later on. But we're just not there yet. So it's like I don't know. I'm probably being too much of a hard ass on them, but
no, I mean,
so I disagree.
Yeah,
I think that you should be graded against your expectations, right? So to some extent, like whatever the line is on the football game, if you don't like cover, like did you like really succeed in the way you were supposed to?
Yeah. Well, and like the Bucks are. I think they're the second favorite to win the whole thing, right? Like I think the Celtics are first, and the Bucks are right behind. I don't think that's changed much. Maybe it's line's falling a little bit, but like I think we're still ahead of the Nuggets, who look like a far more complete team. And like I don't like have the warm and fuzzies that we're like going to be there, but I also think they're going to figure it out too. So like asking at the end of the season or like mid-season check-in, like if we're still having these issues, then it's like they need to make some changes. But if they're figuring it out, I'm going to be a little more relaxed.
All right. Yeah, and I just wanted.
And I think time will do that.
It should.
I think time. Right. I mean, so if you look at the Nuggets, they've been together for like 2 or 3 years, the core of that team, and they're going to be together for another like 2 or 3 years. They're going to look really good at the end of that because it's cohesive.
Yeah, I did a little fact checking. You are 100% correct. Celtics are plus 370 to win the championship, and Bucks are plus 420. So get them while you can, boys. And we're going to make Kyle step into my shoes and do a little bit of forecasting before we're out here. So give me a win total by the end of the year and then expectations in the playoffs.
Yeah, so we're 6-4 now. We won tonight, which is good. So I don't know what our over-under was at the start of the year, but yeah, I think this team should at least win 50 games. And I'm not as hung up on that. Like I think we want to have top 4 seed, I would say. But I would go like 52, 53. Like that leaves plenty of room for them to have some scrubby games that they just don't, they're still figuring things out. But ultimately, riding the ship, beating the bad teams, winning some games against good teams. I should say too, I think they've looked at their best against the best teams, which is also encouraging. I feel like they get up for those games and they show you that they want to be in those games. So I'll go 53, let's say, but like could be better, it could be worse. That's as long as they're in the playoffs, that's the main thing. So
all right. So we are going to add one competition because we're going to have you on again for another show this year, and we'll probably have you on before the playoffs run. So maybe 2 times, 1 time for sure. So 53, is that your final answer? Because this is going to be for shotgunning a sun drop. And
He's got to hit
whoever,
it exactly.
well, no, you and
Just
I,
whoever's closest.
you and I
we're,
have to
we're
pick.
taking some games here, huh? Okay,
Yeah.
I got you.
So
What did they finish with last year? Do you know what the record was?
shit.
I can pull it up. So we were 58-24. That was good enough to win the conference. Maybe what? Yeah.
I'm really bad with this shit because I'll
so
probably
that's
say
why-
something that they can't even obtain. Like 60 wins doesn't seem like that many to me because my brain is still in
60,
baseball.
The 60
like,
win team would be really good. Let's see. And yeah, we haven't won 60 games. Did we ever have? Oh, we did in 2018, 2019.
I was going to say there was a year
otherwise-
that we were like close to the best record in the league, right?
Yeah, we were the best that year. So, and then I mean, the COVID year is kind of hard to judge because that was less games. But we've been in the 50s basically. I'll say 53. I think that still would be an improvement from where they're at right now. Like,
all right, are you agreeing to the terms that you got a shotgun a sun drop if you lose this bet?
and is it both of you in it?
So
one
we'll
chance?
both be in it, but only the winner doesn't have to shotgun the sun drop.
I'll do it. That's fine.
All right, Mike, what do you got?
I'm going to be more optimistic, and I'm going to go right on the nut, 60.
Okay, damn it, I was hoping you were going to go 54 because I'm going to go with 54. Well, that sucks though because Kyle can win it with 52. I was hoping you were going to go 54. I'm going to go 52.
Oh, you were going to do 52 and 54.
Yeah, just so you had a shotgun one. I'm going to go with 52. I'm going to be the pessimistic of the group. And then Mike, what did you go with 58?
60.
Damn, Mike is going with 60. All right. Well, do you have anything to add to close with a message to our Bucks fans out there?
I mean, try not to panic. It's still early. I'm mostly telling myself this. We have a chance to look better. We have 2 of the best players in the league. Chris is no slouch either. He should get healthier as the year goes on. So stay the course, but also be willing to adapt. I would say if we can swing a piece like a better defender, I think they should do that. No idea what that looks like right now. I don't have a ton to work with there either, but I think this team is maybe a piece away, but can still be really good. So let's see what they got in another month or 2.
Patience is a virtue, guys. That was Kyle's message for you.
And pretty reflective of all of Wisconsin sports at the moment. Patience is a virtue.
Yeah. Waiting for some winners. Well, thank you for coming on, Kyle. We appreciate you coming on. And I think just so we don't have to do any chopping, we're going to close it out. So we'll talk to the listeners here too. Thank you all for listening. We appreciate your support. Love you guys. And Mike, what do you got for him? Wait, Kyle, what do you got for him? Then we'll say what Mike
For the listeners?
Yeah. You got to tell them. Thank you. Say
I'll
subscribe.
you. We really appreciate you listening. It means a lot. It makes this much harder to have such a big audience. So, you guys let us do what we do. We thank you for that.
Yes, exactly. And Mike, what do you got for him? Okay, sorry. One more thing before. Kyle, you need to help me collab for a new song. We got to throw in the other teams in the all them suckers. But anyways, Mike, what do you got?
If you're doubting the Brewers, the Badgers, the Bucks, or the Packers, you can eat our shorts. Roll.
All them suckers that doubted the Packers can't need my shows. All them suckers that doubted the Packers can't eat my shows. Beat 'em. All them suckers that doubted the Packers can't eat my shows. Eat my shows.